We're all too familiar with Xander from the Music Freaks, the short-tempered guy, but who can also show a much more mature demeanor in some cases. Xander is definitely one of the most loved characters in the Music Freaks, and someone who many have taken great liking into. But how was this done? How could he arguably be one of the most popular, tied with Jake, if not the most popular character in the show? Stick around to find the truth. I'll unveil everything you need to know about how to create characters like Xander, loved by the audience. I am 𝐼𝐸, and this is how to create a fan favorite character in your Gacha Life series. Personality is definitely the first thing that will stick out from your character, apart from design, which is arguably equally important. I know this might get the wrong idea, but people generally like level-headed characters, and by this, if you don't get it, I guess strong-minded people. People that won't yield in front of adversities, people that won't give up for a greater purpose. It's generally these types of characters that get the most attention, and Xander is no exception. He doesn't let Jake's group bully him. He stands up for himself, he has his principles. Jake was clearly a part of the group that liked taking a piss on him, so he rightfully won't just close an eye to everything he's endured, much less just accept him in the band with open arms. He stands by his principles, which makes the audience respect him, and his reactions are just funny. He easily gets frustrated, which shows a much funnier side of him, which gives him more depth. This is no character analysis, you'll get that when I'll make my rant on the Music Freaks, which kind of needs it. Well, he certainly needs it anyways. The hatred I have against this dude is immeasurable, but that's kind of the gist of it. Your character could be on a more colder side, or amicable one, or even in a gray area. What they need are principles and confidence. It's just normal. It's so incredibly satisfying seeing insecure, uncertain, self-doubting characters just break out of their shell and show their world they're not scared of it. It's arguably the most satisfaction you can get out of a character development. Execution is key though, of course. Xander perfectly stands out as he already has some confidence of his own. So does Millie, Haley, Jake, Drew, which I'll talk about later, this bitch. Almost every character in the core group have pretty strong personalities, which really makes them a solid and entertaining group of individuals. Of course, this isn't just it. There are many other things your character needs to be even more interesting. Hey, hold on if you're finding what I'm saying to be helpful or useful. Look, I know I'm annoying with that, but please subscribe, it helped me a ton, really. And also like and comment in priority. Thank you. Back on the video. Scenarios are perfect for depicting characters. These interesting characters are able to single-handedly, in some cases, change the atmosphere of the situation when it's done right. Because sometimes they just be doing some weird gacha shit, which gets cringy, but you get it. Their presence has a toll on what happens, and because of them, the audience gets even more interested in whatever's happening, and their reaction is what people are awaiting. They could either go full crazy or something, or subvert expectations and handle the situation calmly, with no one getting hurt, or just be abrasive towards everyone and come out of it on top, you know, anything. The most important thing is that it needs to make sense. You also need to have a good idea of what you want them to do and what you want out of them overall. Every character needs to have learned from that occurrence, or just you can continue with the plot. These types of characters just get people peeping at their screens, just waiting for what's about to come next with them, which is what we all want. Another thing your character should do is insight these scenarios. Take Drew for example. He comes across as an asshole and a total dickhead, but underneath he's pretty complex with layers of depth and logic to his action. He was a big part of Jake's development, and his reaction when Jake told him the truth about everything he was penting up was great. Probably best seen the entire series. He was an asshole, but he was logical about it and kept standing his ground like a true headache. Such an intense scene, and the payoff of him just leaving Jake and calling him a freak was so well done. I had not much of a care for Drew. Haley was on top for me for best characters so far, but Drew with this scene alone stole it all. I won't go much further because we're getting in critique and rant territory, but how Drew incited the whole argument and just bam and bam, development left and right occurred the instant he did. Thanks to Jake and Drew, Jake just stepping up especially was what made the scene iconic. This is how you do it. Drew just turn around and showed everyone who was king. And it also worked so well because we've been spending time with Drew, which constructed build up to this scene. Truly well done. Now, I've mentioned lots of characters having this strong persona trait, but you would think I had forgotten Zoe. Well, no, I didn't. And if you didn't even think about it, well, what a waste of your time. Let me make it up to you. Zoe doesn't quite fit in the group for the simple reason that we don't know much about her apart from some relationships she has with some characters, which just doesn't give us enough substance to work with her. That's basically about it. She also cheated on Drew, which makes people not respect her with her having no redeemable reason for it. Don't make your characters like hers. She's definitely one that Rosie needs to work with more. Oh, but she did make the impression as a villain. Overall, Zoe is, you know, a bitch, and in the bad way, which doesn't give her as much popularity and love as the others. This is what you should do to transform your characters into fan favorites. Not all of them need to follow these criteria. They could definitely become that in other ways, but in this way, in my opinion, it's just way more interesting. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until we see each other again, ciao!